Hi, it's Kassy with Kassy's Parlor, and we are in week 3 of our September art journal adventure, and I am super excited. This prompt is kind of heavy, actually. For me, it was. And I think you can take it, in any direction. So we're just going to get right to it because I'm excited to move forward. This prompt and some others that I've had in here really kind of force you to think about just yourself and look inward and spend a moment really considering things. And, the reason I do prompts like this sometimes is because sometimes it's fun to just we're going to do cool colors or warm colors or a diamond shape or whatever it is and just have fun and play. And that's fantastic. And that is definitely what art journaling is for. But it's also a place for us to kind of go through a little bit of personal therapy and maybe work on things that maybe we need to just work through or work out. And so I really like that about my art journals. And I like that it can go either way. It can be super just fun and easy and playful, or it can be really deep and meaningful and thoughtful and just therapeutic. So, and sometimes the easy playful actually, has a little bit of the therapeutic stuff in there too. But I just love that it can be anything you need it to be. And so today's prompt, we're going to look at the writing prompt, which is false stories. And it says, what stories do you tell yourself that are not true? How could you change the narrative to have a positive impact? So I'm sure that I tell myself lots of stories that aren't true. We get in our own heads about things. We think certain things are a certain way or whatever when they really aren't. And, it's just based on our life experience and our filter that we have in our own brain. And, it happens to all of us. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with it. I think it's just something that you need to recognize and maybe try to work through, so we don't have to tell ourselves these false stories anymore. So for today, for me, we're continuing on with our faces. Okay. So you could choose to not create a face this week if you wanted. But again, I'm just offering the challenge to everyone to make a face every week. And it's totally up to you. You can do it never. You can do it every time. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to keep going with it because I really think it's a good challenge and a good practice. And even after this month is over, I would challenge you to, just draw a face and try all the different styles of drawing a face, maybe a little bit more often than you do, because it's really fun. And even if you don't like it at first, maybe you just decide you don't like it and it's not for you, and that's totally fine. But sometimes I think people don't like it because they think they're not good at it. And I just want to challenge you and say that you may not be good at it or as good as you think you should be at it, because you haven't really done it ever, So anyway, I'm gonna stop talking about that, but I just want to keep it out there. Try to make faces this whole month and maybe even beyond. So I'm going to work on my false story. I like this page. I've been saving it for something, and I figured that it would come to me in the moment, and it has. I am going to use this page. This is going to be a person. I see a person kicking up their foot or something, and I don't know, they're just really funky. Or maybe raising their hand, and I don't know, it could be a weird, funky dude. So I'm going to make the face in here somewhere, somehow, and make it a person. And then this is going to be like a journal blob for me, and I'm just going to journal about my false story in there. Okay? I really want to use my the stencil called The Path from this month's kit. I love this stencil. I love that it can be used as a background or foreground. You can use little pieces of it or the whole thing. And so I am going to do something a little different with it this time. And I'm going to use just This one will work. So I'm using the 1,5 one, which is the bullet nib from our Pitt pens we got. And I'm going to make a background out of this, so I'm only going to trace around where the red isn't. Okay, so when I get to a spot like this, I'm going to stop when I get to the red. Okay, and I'm just going to trace these shapes all around. And even the ones that go off the page, I'm not going to, oh, I closed that one off. I didn't mean to, actually. I'm going to let them just be going off the page. And if it's on red totally, I'm going to skip it. And this is kind of a fun way to use this stencil, or even other stencils that you have that you like to make backgrounds out of. You know, if you have something already that you want to be in the foreground, this is kind of a fun way to make your own background pattern. You know, and this also doesn't make a particular shape. So see how this ends too? I'm just going to leave that open, and I'm going to like finish it, you know, off the page, so I don't have to deal with that. See how it's kind of making a cool background for me? Okay, and then I think I'm just going to keep going with this middle one so I don't have to deal with these edge straight lines. And yeah, I'm just going to find a cool spot here. And there we go. I think I'll go there. And I'm just going to keep going around and make this fun background. So anywhere there's white, you're just going to trace just that part of it. Sometimes it's tricky to stop. I mean, you got to really kind of think about it so that you don't go into your focal point image or shape or whatever you've got going on. See how cool that is? I love this. I think this is going to be really fun. Now, let's see. For this last one, well, can I do this? Yeah, I think for this last one, I'm going to flip this because I want this slightly bigger pieces. And I am going to be okay with using these edge pieces. Okay, and let's see how far over. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. So again, I'm being selective about where, you know, you don't have to follow that stencil exactly. I'm not doing the straight edge across. I'm just going to let it kind of run off the page. I'd be curious to see if you guys try this, or if you try it with another stencil, one of mine, or even just another one that you have. Maybe I want to do this edge too, because I feel like it just kind of stops here when we could take it right off the page. Okay, and you can even do diagonal. There are no rules. Yeah, I like this, having it go right off the page here, so I'm just going to do that. So these pens are great for this. We're just drawing around our stencil, and then we can, so these edges where they just kind of stop, I'm just going to take them out, you know, to the edge, or decide how they're going to be. I just want them to go off the page, and I don't really care how they are at the end. That's the only one that has the edge there, because I was talking and not thinking. So this one, I kind of want it to come over here. See how it finishes there? So again, no rules. You're just doing whatever feels good for you. And these, since they're funky, kind of like organic shapes already, they don't have to follow any kind of specific pattern. They're just totally random. I love this. I think this looks great already. Very graphic and very kind of fun and funky. So now these can stay black and white. You could get your Cosmic Shimmer and either color in the pattern around it, or color in the circle areas or those pebble things, or you could do like a few here and there. That could be really fun too. I'm going to think about that. I might like to color in some of these, but I do also kind of like it just the red, black, and white. It's very graphic and fun. All right, so then I'm going to use my bullet pen. Is this the right one? Nope, that's not the one I want. I forget. Do I have a bullet pen in this one? I think I just have to use this one. Okay. So I'm going to use the 1,5 again to write in my thing here. I was just thinking about this. Do I want to outline this? No, I don't think I do. Not for now, at least. Okay, so okay, I'm going to read this prompt again so I can kind of think about it. What stories do you tell yourself that are not true? How could you change the narrative to have a positive impact? So you can write that all out here. You can answer both of those questions. You can just take it and think on it, and then write a message that talks about your, how to change the narrative. If you have a quote that represents kind of what you're thinking about, you could do that. Like, there's no rules. This is just giving you an opportunity to just kind of go inward and think about this, and then represent it however you want on your page. If you don't want to do any writing and you're just going to make it like a layout with just like an image or whatever that represents it for you, then that's what you should do. Whatever feels guided and right and good for you is what you should do. Okay? So this is just how I'm choosing to do this. Okay. So a story that I tell myself that's not true is that I'm not good enough. And I have been working on this particular false story for a very, 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 very long time. And I'm getting a lot better. It takes a long time to change your brain sometimes, depends on how deep it's in there and how long you've believed it and all of that. So I think one way I can change my narrative to have a positive impact and just really kind of flip the script on myself and say, okay, well, I actually am good enough, and I'm great just the way that I am, and I don't need to do this and this and this to be better. I mean, we all are improving and being better, like people, period, in our lives, of course, and I strive to be a better human every single day, but I'm enough and I'm worthy and I'm good just as I am. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So I think I just kind of like that quote. I am enough. Maybe this is just going to be I am enough. I think that's how I'm working through that. And then this will just be a person. I think that's good. And that's really a good message. And so then I don't need to write all that out. If I write I am enough here and later down the line I come back to this page and look at it, I'm going to remember all of those thoughts. I'm going to remember kind of all that work I've been doing around that thing. And, that's good enough for me. It's going to bring all those memories up for me and all the process and everything I've been through. So, again, it's totally up to you. You could have a blank page and write out all your thoughts and just do some automatic writing, and then, make your page around that or cover it up or whatever. Anyway, just trying to give you ideas. So I want to go with this funky, fun kind of graphic theme. So I think I'm just going to do, I was going to do like curvy lines, but I am enough is not that much to say. Okay, I think I know what I want to do, actually. I'm going to do straight lines, and I decided I'm going to do I am worthy, I am enough. I like that, and I'm just going to do it like this. So, and I'm going to try to make my letters stay in the red and follow the lines, and it's just a fun kind of way to... I'm just kind of learning how to do funky letters and do stuff like this. I kind of want to practice it more because I think it's really fun. It looks cool. But I'm really just at the very beginning stages of that, so I'm just learning. I am worthy, I am enough. I have a friend that is pretty amazing at this. I just commissioned her to make something for me because she's so awesome at lettering. I'm doing tall, skinny because I'm running out of space. Anyway, her name is Jess. Just JCal Designs. She's awesome at this. So this is inspiration from her. Okay, let's see. What if I add... It just feels very dark in there. I wonder if I can add some white. Can I? Oh yeah, okay, let's see. Let's see if I can make white lines. There we go, that's fun. It's not perfectly white, this tip has been compromised. But I like having a different kind of line in there. Oh yeah, okay. I'm abusive to my markers. You should not do what I do. So it's not really white. It's almost yellowish, but it's different, and I think it helps. I wonder, though, I kind of wonder if I should outline this. I'm still thinking. Okay, let's see. Oh, now I'm going to do the face, right? So let's try a different pen so we can use some of the other guys here. Soft chisel. Let's see. And I have this here and I'm doodling on it. You know, this is our paper stuff that we got in the kit, like collage paper, and it's beautiful and I need to be using it. But, you know, I'm testing stuff over here, but I can always, if I put it in the book, I can always cover it up. That's why I'm not really worried about getting stuff on there. Okay. Let's make a face. So this face is going to be extra kind of funky. I think I'm going to try to do it a little different. Let's see. Okay. So first I'm starting with her hair is like there, I think. I don't know what that is, but it's part of her hair. And I think she's looking this way. So this is going to be tricky for me. So I'm going to have part of an eye. And then I'm not real good at side faces. So I'm just going to practice, right? Okay. And then here's the nose. She needs eyebrows. This is a really horrible face. But it's fine. Let's see. Let's do the mouth. So you just got to think, if you're doing a side face, that part of it is kind of cut off. You know what I mean? Let's do that. I don't know what's happening to her nose there. It's okay. This is a leg. I think I would like this to be a leg, and I kind of want to draw it, like outline it, you know? And then it's just her foot. She's got a pointed toe up there. It doesn't have to be very well defined. It can be whatever we want it to be. And there her leg is going off. Her little buttocks. Clearly it's not me. I have a slightly larger buttocks. She's got a weird chin. I like her though. She is enough. Okay. This is the other arm, right? Like, this is me after I've been working out, lifting weights for like a few months. I'm going to have a buff arm. Okay. So, let's do that. I don't know what I'm doing here. Outline the hair. I think this might be nice too to outline with other colors. I'm just using black to keep it simple, but think about if you use some like fun Posca colors. You know, you could definitely do that too. And let's make this like a bun type thing or something. I don't know. That's a weird... Oh, maybe she's a unicorn. That's pretty cool. Okay. So there we go. Let's put a little white dot in the eyes. At least she's got something going on there. And then, I think I just want her hair to be a little separate, you know. So let's give her some white curly things, curlicues, which are turning yellow. I think it's just because of that red. Oh, I got white paint all over me. Good job. Okay. I stuck my arm right in it. Okay, here we go. Okay, she's a very funky girl. And I kind of want to add some color. I've got teal marine here. I am going to fill in some of these guys. I think they'll be fun. Okay, so I'm just putting some on my table here to work with. And I'm going to grab a water brush. So I got a water brush. Look at how pretty that is. And I'm just going to color in some spots. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them or just a few, but I think this turquoise is really going to look nice with this red. Just add a little bit more punch of fun and color to it. That's kind of why I gave you these, what are these called? The Pixie Sparkles with this kit with the pens, because you know the pens are just black and white, and just drawing with black and white is awesome. I mean, it's Inktober right now, right? And a lot of people do just that. They just draw with black and white and it looks amazing, but sometimes you got to have some color too. That's at least where I'm coming from. You got to have color. So I thought it might be fun if you're just using your kit. Some of you just use stuff from your kit. It's important to be able to throw a little bit of color in there. Keep it fun and exciting. I'm also using some color here because we've got some like red smudgy spots from before. You know, I did this, I don't know, I did this a long time ago. I can't remember why it was an extra page, but, and it just has been hanging out, and I think I shut the book before it fully dried, and so it just smudged around, and so this is going to help that too. I probably could have used a bigger brush to end here. Would have gone faster, but that's all right. I think I'm going to do all of these because, man, this is such a pretty color, and remember it's got the sparkle in it, so it's going to add just a little bit of shimmer to your page, which is exciting. At least for me, it's exciting. Hopefully for you too. I hope you like the color that you got. There's so many great colors. I had to give everyone a different one so you could try them all out. And you see how I'm like just doing a little bit and then I go back and add a little bit more so that I'm not wasting any. Because it really doesn't take a lot to use, you know, to do your project. And I would rather have to get more than have too much and then, you know, potentially waste some of it. So, all right. So I'm just going to keep coloring in. Another reason I love this book, now because it's watercolor paper and it's such a good quality watercolor paper, this Strathmore book, we can draw on it with marker and we can come at it with, you know, inks and with sparkle inks and like all this stuff, and it takes all of it so well and we don't have to gesso anything. There are definitely reasons to use other kinds of paper in art journals, and they all have their place, and you know, depending on what you're doing, they're all pretty important, I think. It's just great to have variety depending on what kind of art journaling you like to do. But for what we're doing here and just kind of getting to know all of our supplies, I think this really has been probably the best book for this, or at least this type of paper. You know, there are other books that have watercolor paper. Sometimes watercolor paper is not, they're not all created equal, I'll just say that. So, but, you know, what I like, someone else might not like that much. and maybe they have a different preference. So it really is up to the individual. So I encourage you to try other journals if you haven't already, just to see what works for you, because what works for me might not be the best thing for you, and that's cool. But I hope that you've liked this journal and it's treated you well. I know that a fair bit of you are on to your next one already, which is pretty amazing. Make sure you're dating your journal, even if you don't date every page. I always forget. I want to date my pages every time, and I always forget. But try not to forget, because I actually do think it's really important to date your pages, or at least the book. Like if you're if you're like me and you don't date every page because you just forget or whatever, at least in the beginning of your book, maybe on the cover when you're decorating it, or on the inside cover, the first page, or somewhere in your book, I would encourage you to at least put the month and the year, so that, when this is full and done and you put it in your stash and you get the next one out, and then in a couple of years maybe you come back to it and you see just your progress and how you've, and maybe like, not even progress, but just how you've changed over time. You know what I mean? It's nice to be able to go back and see that. So, and if you have the date, at least the month and the year, that's really helpful too. So I think I am going to outline this. I think it will just look a little bit better. It just feels like it's kind of floating in space and not separated enough from the background for me. So that's why I'm choosing to outline it here. Oops. Okay. See, I like that just a little bit better. Okay, so I think I'm done with this. Definitely thought about my fall stories. I'm choosing to just have kind of a quote or saying here that I like, and using a page that had been started and still drawing a face. It's a different kind of face. It's facing sideways. It's not as detailed as the other faces I've made, and actually it's pretty, it's very different, but I love it. I love what she's doing. I love that she's, I don't know, maybe a unicorn or has some funky thing coming out of her head. I love this page. I like what I did with the background, using my stencil and then adding a little bit of shimmer. Let's see if I can show you that shimmer from that Pixie Sparkle. That looks really nice. And the color, I think, contrasts nicely from the focal point. So I can't wait to see what you come up with for your Fall Stories page, and if you decide to do a face or not. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk soon. Bye.